Catchy Connie and loudmouth Linda, keeping it real, no agenda. Satire, truth, and a whole lot of fun. Politics, crime, we get it all done. From breaking news to a joke or two, we do it our way just for you. We just can't make this stuff up. 1 year strong and we ain't gonna stop. Mic in hand, voices loud, shouting truth, making you proud.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Wow, I thought they'd have at least another hour, right? No, sorry, I'm a lot late, I guess. But I have a lot of stuff to cover for you. Gosh, so much stuff is running through. Hey, Spudsy! So much is running through my mind right now that I want to clarify with you guys. I get everyone that knows me knows I get these things and it'll be laid heavy on my heart, and sometimes I just have to go and I have to dig for all of this stuff and I have to clarify it for myself. And last night it was laid real heavy on my heart to come and tell you guys a few different things about this case, right? Now, we know that Kid Cudi has already testified. If you haven't heard it, I'll be happy to go over it again. The judge has already dismissed the jury because they're going to have a long weekend, right? So they're not going to be here tomorrow, and they won't be here on Monday because Monday is Memorial Day. So I may hop on tomorrow night and talk a little bit and go over the different things that I've learned. But let's go over what RICO is. Okay, because here's the thing. When they say he's being charged with RICO charges, it sounds so big, right? Oh my gosh, he's getting charged with RICO charges. Well, let's go over. RICO could really slip under the rug on you because they really don't sound like they're really big charges, but really, truly, they are. RICO can consist of, the big thing with RICO is a group or an organization, not just random people working together, right? So Diddy would be the top, the boss of all of this organization, right? And it consists of drug trafficking. Well, we know that he had drugs, all that was going on. Money laundering, wire or mail fraud, bribery. Okay, we've already seen, and all you have to have is two of these that I'm telling you that he can be charged with RICO. All right. So we know that, I don't know if he was doing drug trafficking, but there was plenty of drugs involved, right? We already know that. Money laundering, nah, not so much. Bribery, absolutely. Put a big check next to bribery. Because if you remember, the security, hello, KMM. So we know bribery is definitely there because the security guard he had the recording of the Cassie video, right? And Diddy offered him $100,000 in cash for that video. So, and of course he said no. So there you go. There's your bribery. There's your bribery. All right. Kidnapping. Well, we've already discussed that. Definitely kidnapping, because if he beat them up severely, or when he dragged Cassie and tried to put her back in the room to perform or whatever in that video, that would be kidnapping. Or when he put them in a room for 11 days until their bruises healed, that's kidnapping. All right, murder. Well, we're not really sure about that part. I think maybe there might be some of that showing up, but it's just not on there yet. It just hasn't hit the table. And then finally, last but not least, trafficking. Well, if you go across the state line with anything, with anyone, and perform any of this sex stuff, that's sex trafficking. If you take them across the state line, that's sex trafficking. So we've got, right? We've got bribery. We may have schmurder. We may have, we definitely have sex trafficking. We have bribery. We have, now we may have drug trafficking. Is that involved in it? But is it a group organization? Well, absolutely, it's a group organization because Diddy was on the top. And another thing, Enrico, is making people work unpaid. Well, we already know that some people never got paid for working for Diddy. He worked them hours and hours and hours and hours and made them, and so there you go. There's your RICO charges. You stop and you think to yourself, how did this man have? Here's your question. It's my question, and this is what has kept me up all night long. How did he have that much control? Right? Do you ever wonder? Do you wonder with inside yourself? Is a narcissist born a narcissist, or are they made a narcissist? Okay, this was my question. What do you guys think? Do you think a narcissist is born with the tendencies? Hey, Teddy, I know, because is not guilty of these charges. Of what charges, Teddy? Thumbnail is such clickbait. Diddy is not guilty of these charges. BS. Well, I don't know. He did sex traffic, right? He did force people to work for him, right? And I don't think mine is mine says court date 9 or whatever. And I'm sorry, I am so late because court's already been adjourned. Most of my thumbnails are just making fun of the whole situation because it's getting totally absurd. I just don't get it. I really think that he is guilty of all of this stuff. Ted, he's guilty of all of this. When you look at it, he's guilty. I'm sorry, but he is. He's guilty of taking people across lines, performing sex acts. He's guilty of coercion. He's guilty of extortion. Here's a multi-billionaire, right? He sits there on his pedestal talking about how he, patting himself on the back and talking about how great he is and how much money he has and how wonderful he is. But he had to extort Cassie's mom of $20,000. Really? $20,000 should be just chump change for him. Yeah. So even though, okay, guys, this is what you haven't heard that came out. Even though he gave the $20,000 back, well, if you say that it's okay to have sex, if you go and you don't get paid for it, and you don't, and you think that it's just regular sex or whatever, I don't think they signed on to be urinated on. I don't think they signed on to get beat up. And he beat up more than just Cassie. But Ted, here's the thing. In this channel, we're here to agree to disagree. I'm just telling, in my opinion, what I think. Um, don't you feel like he extorted the mother because she wanted to defend her daughter? Do you think that, okay, well, okay, let's go here. Let's, plain and simple, silly little scenario, right? So you and your partner, Cassie was paid 10 million from the hotel and 20 million from Diddy. Right. Which now I guess the husband's getting ready to take half of it because a divorce is on the table. But let's just do a little simple scenario, right? Let's say that you and your partner have decided that you're going to just record your night of fun just for yourself, right? You're going to record this and you're going to do it just for fun. And then your partner says, "Hey, you know what? If you don't do what I say, I'm going to put this video out for everyone to see." Is that not control? You know, there's a lot of people that want to videotape themselves, but is that not control? If you do not have the say that this should be able to be released or not, I think that's control. I think that's total control. So here's my thing. We already know, we already got it figured out that Diddy is definitely a narcissist. That is the scenario. That is a scenario. Cassie did not know, said that she did not approve of him to put that out there. In fact, that's what he held over her head. So we all know that Diddy's a narcissist, right? Yes, she was aware. She was aware of the video going on, but he told her he would release it for the public to see if she did not do what he wanted her to do. Of course, then he beat her also. So yeah, he controlled her. He had total control. Total control. So, and Diddy is, of course, he's the boss, right? He's the boss of the whole situation. He's the one calling the shots. He's the one saying, "You know what, you're going to do this with him." And he is guilty. He is guilty of beating her. And he is definitely guilty of controlling her. He controlled her finances. He controlled what she ate, when she ate it, where she went. She had to check in with him at all times. Now, here in the next, when Capricorn testifies, which she's not going to testify until Tuesday now, but when she testifies, he beat her too. And he beat Kelly Morgan too. He hit her with a wooden hanger so hard he gave her a concussion. So yeah, he's definitely he's a control freak. And that's a red flag, right? When it comes to narcissism. Control is their big thing. But my question is to everyone, do you believe that a narcissist is born to be a narcissist? Do you think they're born with those tendencies? This is what I looked up. This is what I did the deep dive into. Because we can say, well, I think controlling a person is definitely against the law. It is. You can't control people. You're not allowed to control people. People are their free moral agents. But okay, so then I guess you don't think that Jim Jones did anything wrong when all those people drank the Kool-Aid, right? And they passed away. They do. They do. They think that they possess this person. This person is not a human being, they are a possession. You think that's okay? You think it's okay to control somebody that much that they're not allowed to think for themselves? No, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. I'm sorry, but you're not. You're not allowed to tell people what they're going to eat. And the thing was, you're not allowed to threaten somebody's life and their family's life if you don't do what they say for you to do. Because you know what? The normal human being is going to protect their family and their kids and everyone around them. No, you're right. What I think doesn't matter. You're right. But the proof is in the pudding, right? So did Diddy not bribe the security guard $100,000 to give him the videotape? And he didn't take it? Is that not bribery? Okay. Did he not extort the mother? I mean, you only have to have 2 of these charges in a RICO trial. So if you don't want to go into the sex thing and the beatings and all the control, if you want to put that aside, that's fine. We can put that aside. But did he not extort the mother? Check off. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Did he not bribe the security guard? Yes, he did. Check 2. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether he gave it back or he gave it back or not. That's all hearsay too. Do we know for sure that he gave it back? Right? Did he broke into Kid? Okay, see, this is what we're going to get into now. Kid Cudi said not only did he break into his house, but he dropped a Molotov cocktail into his car. Arson. Is that not against the law? The bribery, the security guard got up on the stand and testified that he recorded the video and Diddy wanted him to erase it and he would give him $100,000 to erase it. The security guard said he was gone for 2 days. When he came back, the videotape was gone. Proof he did the cocktail. No, I don't believe that either. I don't believe that either. He testified that the videotape was gone from the hotel security footage, and he had it recorded on his phone. And Diddy offered him $100,000 for that video, and he never took a dime of it. And he was the one that turned it over to CNN, and he never got paid for it. Whether he showed it to his wife or not, the video footage was deleted. I mean, you can protect him. You can defend him. You can think that what he did was all prim and proper, and every man can control their wife, and they can beat him and do whatever they want to him, and they can drug him and make him do whatever they want him to do. But it was a corporation. Do you not think that Epstein was a corporation? There's another one for you. Well, the videotape is a pretty good evidence, I do believe. And I'm sure the books will, you've got everyone coming up and testifying. Don't worry, the feds are just painting a picture for you because the hard evidence is coming. I can guarantee you it's coming. Just saying. We're only in day 9. You think that the feds set themselves up for a failure? I don't think so. They are heavy charges. It looks like domestic violence. You're right. You've got to bring that forward to show the abuse. You have to bring that forward to show the coercion. You have to bring all that forward to paint the picture that Diddy has anger problems, right? So I think they've got to paint that picture first, and then the hard evidence is coming in. They had the psychologists that came in and said people in domestic violent cases, they're afraid for their life. They're afraid for their family. Cassie never had a dime. He promised her all kinds of things and never did any of them. Do you think it's okay to drug people without them knowing? You think that's okay? Oh, well, you put yourself there, so it's okay? I don't think so. I don't think it's okay. I'm sorry. I just don't. And we can agree to disagree because, Ted, I'm going to tell you, it's going to come out. There's hard evidence that's going to come out. And if this hasn't shown you where his brain lies and he thinks that, what did Kid Cudi call him? He said he was a god, a man god, until he found out differently. Oh, yeah, drugs in the baby oil and everything else. They've already testified all of this. KMM, people like Ted believe that, yes, they think he's going to get off. They think he's going to walk. And that just boosts his ego a little bit more so he can do a little bit more to other people. Do you think it was okay for him to beat the brakes off of her? Do you think it was okay for Diddy to beat the brakes off of Cassie the way he did? Was that okay? And was it okay that everyone sat around and watched and never stopped it from happening? That they were so afraid for their own lives that they weren't going to get involved? Was that okay? And by the way, these security people worked 22 hours a day. He paid them $70,000 a year, and they were to work 20 hours a day, bringing the total of his hours up to 528 hours a month. I don't think he's going to be convicted wrongly. I think he did every single thing that they're saying that he did. I do. I believe. Although, there is someone on the jury that feels the same way that you do, and they're just not convinced. So could he walk? Maybe on a mistrial. He could maybe walk on a mistrial. I hope not. I pray to God I hope not. Because all that does is put that violence and all that stuff right back out there. He is. He's a very, okay, so this goes back to, and no one answered me. Do you believe in your heart of hearts that a narcissist is born with the traits of being a narcissist? Or do you believe that they're man-made? Yes, and it took 10 years. It took 10 years for them to bring him to justice because the feds aren't going to go without ironclad evidence. That's why their statistics are 99.9% win. There is new victims. Capricorn is going to testify on Tuesday. Gina has came up missing. She was a victim, but guess what? She's missing. Where do you think she went? What, you don't think Diddy's little minions haven't scared the daylights out of her? Because he could be facing all of this. Don't you think that he's got people on the outside taking care of that? because guilty people do that. He doesn't want to go to prison. Ted, he believes he's above the law. He believes in his heart that he can do anything and he's untouchable. He is your textbook narcissist. And he doesn't believe he did anything wrong. There during, not post Cassie's payment. Oh no, they've already said that she got 20 million from him and 10 million from oh, you're right. Now, you know what? This is one statement I can get behind 100%. All celebrities believe that they're above the law. And you know what? That needs to stop. So if Diddy's the first one that goes down, then you know what? There's a lot of others that are going to go down with him. Now, I'm going to say this. I listened just the other day, okay? Last night, I do these deep dives and I listen to all the back channels and I listen to all of the interviews. And I do believe it was 50 Cent that said, quote unquote, Diddy was bad. Diddy did horrible things. But Diddy is just, there's by far worse above Diddy. Welcome, Kathy Knight. Yeah, they'll all go down. I'm with you 100%. They're all going to go down. This is just a beginning. This is just a beginning of what is to come, guys. Did Cat Williams not say, did he not say that 2025 the truth will come out? The truth will come out. When Kid Cudi went home after he got on his alarm that somebody was in his house and it was Diddy. Now, I mean, isn't that breaking and entering? Well, I guess he thinks that because he's so above the law, he can just break into anybody's house, right? So he was in the house. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm just quoting Cat Williams. He said, what are you doing? He testified, what are you doing in my home? What are you doing in my home? Then before he could get there was when the Molotov cocktail was cut, the roof was cut on his car and the Molotov cocktail was dropped in. Now, did Diddy do that? No, I don't believe Diddy did that. But I think his minion did. I think one of his minions did. Well, you know, there's probably cameras all over everywhere, but he knew he was in there. You know, we can sit here and say, did he do it? Or was he in there? Or, you know what? You just know. You just know. This is why these people get away with this stuff. They are so slick and so sneaky. And come on. You know it in your heart of hearts. He was in there and he was telling Kid Cudi, because Kid Cudi was dating Cassie at the time. And Kid Cudi took Diddy's little play toy away. Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you just do what you got to do. These people will never go down. These people need to come down. You said yourself that this needs to stop, and these people need to be held accountable. We need to start somewhere, and I believe this is a good start. But I'll tell you this, Ted, I'll tell you this. I totally believe that there's somebody above Diddy. And I think Diddy's going to take the fall for somebody else. Because I think there are people that are far worse that are in control. We just can't get to them, or we haven't found them yet. It's a start. That's all I've got to say. It's a start. And no one has answered me about the narcissist yet. Do you believe that a narcissist is born with tendencies to be a narcissist? Or do you believe they're man made? A narcissist being man made? Yeah, I don't buy any of their stuff anyway. In fact, you know what? I don't even know. Honest, I am going to be honest with you, Ted. I don't even know a song Diddy ever sang. How about that? I'm too old. I don't care. My kids probably do, but I don't know anything he ever sang. I just want the people that are guilty to be brought to justice because I am so tired of watching it slide. Everything's okay. Let it slide. Oh, you're a huge fan of Diddy? Yeah, no, I don't even know what he's saying. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of people right now that are being brought up on charges. Even Garth Brooks. Didn't we just hear that somebody was going to take him to court for something like this too? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just saying, right? Well, you know what? Who's getting the money in their pockets? That wonderful celebrity, right? Spudsy, actually, I did a big deep dive on this, and narcissism is man-made. And I'll tell you what happens is these kids are either from broken homes and people have told them, "You're so great. You're so wonderful. Everything you do is amazing." Or they're so bitter that they're out after the world and they want to take everybody down. Now, I don't know which one he would fall into line with because his mother was a madam, right? We all know that from back channels that the mother was a madam. We can't prove that for sure, can we, Teddy? But we know that Diddy, from testimony, that Diddy used to brag about how his mom could put both palms on the floor. I, you know, I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, if the man walks, he will do worse things. And I believe he's a part of the Illuminati. I think that this is my own personal opinion, right? Or overblowing up their giving them too much self-esteem. It can be either way. It can be, I'm going to tell you exactly what they called it because I did this deep dive last night. And let's see, I'm going to give you, I wanted to know where he got the name Freak Off at. That was another one. Okay, so hang on, just bear with me just a second, guys. I want to know where he got the name Freak Off from. And it says the term freak off isn't officially defined, but it's likely a slang derived from a mix of phrases called freak out and show off, commonly used in party culture and hip hop slang to describe wild, uninhibited, or sexually charged gatherings. So, freak off probably implies over the top parties where people are encouraged to behave outrageously. All right. So, I want to, let's see. This is no, narcissists aren't born in the strictest sense. Okay, so often it's excessive praise or idealization, neglect or emotional abuse, or inconsistent parenting, a mix of overindulgence and criticism. and their temperament is highly sensitive to criticism, low empathy, and strong drive for admiration. Okay, so there you go. Right, freak offs. I was like, you listen to that and you think, freak off. What the heck? Where did they come up with that for his wonderful parties? Freak off. Oh no, I don't think he's going to go quietly. If honestly, if the feds would have picked him up and he would have taken the plea deal. See, here's the thing: if he'd have taken the plea deal, he would have done 15 years and on good behavior, whether he could be good or not. He probably would have gotten out in 7, maybe 10. But you know what? He didn't want to do that because the feds are going to confiscate all of his money, which he is signed over to his mom, right? So all the houses have been signed over into his mom's name. All the bank accounts are signed over into his mom's name. So Diddy doesn't show that he has any money. This happens all the time in divorce cases where the husband or the wife will turn around and sign over all their assets to a family member so they look like they have nothing. So the other partner can't get anything. Although in this situation, anything that he signed over or he gave to anyone, right? Yeah, anything like that is going to be confiscated. So he's going to lose all of his money. He's going to lose all that stuff. Just a proven fact. But yeah, the freak off was kind of a weird way of calling it. You hear that? He had freak offs, and I thought, well, why did they call it that? That's such an odd name. And then they said, well, it's a mix between the word freak out and show off. So that's why it got the name freak off. I mean, let's just change the American language and make our own little words up where nobody can understand what the heck they're talking about. I think there's a lot more to come. I'm looking forward to hearing what Capricorn has to say on Tuesday, right? Let's see what she has to say. We all know that Gina isn't going to testify. Justin Bieber said Diddy never did. Now, wait a minute. Before I say that, I want to make sure I get it right. Justin Bieber's camp said that he never did anything to him. Justin Bieber right now is spiraling out of control. Why do you think he's spiraling out of control? I think the man's so much in fear that he's going to have to get up on that stand, or he's going to be subpoenaed, or he's going to be made to have to relive it all over again. He just, Justin has been through so much that he just wants it to just go away. He just wants to wrap his brain and get his brain on the right track. And I think this case was a trigger for him. And now he's just spiraling out of control. And it's sad to watch. It is so sad to watch. Yeah, he's in real rough shape. And, everybody, we really need to say some prayers for Justin, because the way he looks right now, I don't know how much longer that poor little guy's going to be on this earth. That we're not going to find him somewhere where he's OD'd or something. I just worry about Justin. I worry about him a lot. I don't know if he is mentally in the right place. He does deserve his privacy. And he needs to make his life private. He needs to quit getting on TikTok and trying to sing and be all messed up and being goofy, and he's out of it. He's overindulging, guys. That's when you get that, what some people call it 12-ounce courage when they're drinking. Well, I guess he's got his little whatever courage that he gets on TikTok and dances around and can't barely sing. I mean, he's doing the same thing. Britney Spears used to do that. Remember how she used to get all lit and get on live, get out there and get on live and dance around and be silly, show herself? You know what, Spudsy, you're right. You're right. He shouldn't be famous. And really, when you get to looking at it, Justin hasn't put an album out in how long? Or done anything musically in how long? For a long time. Justin hasn't done anything musically in a long time because his brain he's just not there, guys. It's sad. It is so sad. But I want to hear it from Justin's mouth, right out of his own mouth. I want to see him stand up and get on the camera dead sober and say, Diddy never did anything to me. I don't think you're ever going to hear that come from his mouth. You'll never hear it come from Usher's mouth. The only thing Usher ever said was when they asked him, hey, would you let your kids go to a Diddy party? And he said, hell no. Hell no. My kids are not going to a Diddy party. Don't you think that they've all been told you're not allowed to talk about this? If you ever let this out in public, you'll be gone. I think we'll see. We'll see. But I think we're going to find out that Diddy was wrapped up a little bit around Tupac and a little bit around Biggie Smalls. And you know, Biggie Smalls was actually the one, if I'm not, if I haven't lost my mind here, wasn't Biggie bringing up Diddy? Itty bitty Diddy was brought up by Biggie. Wasn't it Biggie first? I'm not really wrapped up in that music genre that much, but Biggie was making Diddy all kinds of money and bringing him up. And then all of a sudden, Biggie's gone. And Tupac's gone. Like I said, right now, they have taken a blank canvas and they're starting to just paint a little bit of the picture for you. The hard evidence isn't going to come until later. Hey, Ted, do you believe that he'll get up and testify for himself? Do you think he'll testify for himself? I'm curious because I think it just depends on exactly which way this hearing goes. Although I think he's maybe, there's a part of me that wants to say the man is narcissistic enough that he may want to get on the stand to defend his honor. I don't know. He's been actually controlling his attorneys pretty well. He keeps handing all these notes over, according to the people that have been in the courtroom, telling them what to say and telling him what questions to ask. He's actually controlling his own defense. Well, I would like to see him do it. Right, Kim? Is he narcissistic enough that he wants to get on the stand and he wants to defend himself? What do you think? Do you think he wants to get up there and say, hey, you know what? I am nothing that these people painted me out to be. This was all, everyone was consenting and they all wanted to take these drugs. And I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get up on the stand. I would like to see him get up on the stand. I'd like to see, there's I'm going to tell you, and I've worked years and years and years in optics, and this is the thing. The eyes are the window to the soul, right? When you look at some of these people that have done horrific things, you look at their eyes and it is so dark and so blank and so lost. There's nothing there. It's empty. I would love to see him get up on the stand and be able to look in his eyes and see exactly. You can see it. You can see it if he's lying. You can see it if he's really this demonic. I would love to see him testify, KMM. But I don't know. I question if his attorneys will let him, because he may destroy the whole case for himself. You know what I mean? A lot of attorneys will not let their clients get up on the stand because of that reason, because they screw it up for themselves. But I'd like to see it. I'd be here for it. The bad part is we're not going to be able to see exactly what it looks like, but we'll hear people who have been in the courtroom and, here we go, Ted. Did they analyze the look in his face right or not? I don't know. But I would like to hear what he's got to say, but I would really like to see his face. I would like to have been able to see how his reactions were in court. We really didn't get those. Other than I did hear that there was a couple times that people had gotten up and testified that he was shaking in his chair. Well, we already know that he has anger problems, so he was probably getting mad at that point. There's a few cases that I am looking forward to following. Carmelo Anthony is another one that I'm going to be here for. He's in the same state that I am, and I want to follow that one. I have been following everything I've heard on the back channels, and I want to see the court case. And I'm going to be really bummed if they don't have cameras in that courtroom, because that's a state case. So there should be cameras in that courtroom. The feds don't allow cameras. And I kind of question that too. Well, why can you have cameras in a state trial and not have cameras in a fed trial? Does anyone know the answer to that? I wonder why. So I think there should be cameras in a federal trial. He didn't like Cuddy, joked about him, heard he was expressive. Yeah, but just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you blow up their car. Oh, no. I want some cameras. You want the evidence. We could see the evidence. No cameras. We're going by what people are seeing in court. I could tell you what I see, and what you see is going to be totally different. I see him is having a meltdown and shaking in his chair and getting ready to throw a fit. And you might have seen that he was just shaking because he needed to have a break. So, people see things differently. Yeah, that's exactly KMM. I want to see the body language. I want to see how he's reacting to all of this. And, Gene Deal can't go into trial because he was before all of this crazy stuff. So, yeah, KMM, we're going to follow. Were you saying that sarcastically, Ted? Are you being cruel to me? Because actually, all we're going by is what people are sending out. I want to get a hold of the transcripts. I want to hear it all laid out for me. But I'm going by what people are saying that are in the courtroom. And you know, KMM, I'm with you. We're going to watch that trial. Yep, we're going to definitely watch that trial. And the Idaho murder case. Yeah, let's go there. You know, what do you, Ted? What's your opinion, or are you even watching about the Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony? Thank you, Ted. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, what do you think about the Austin Metcalf trial? I'd be curious what you think about that. The Carmelo actually is Carmelo Anthony trial, because we're going to be here for that. We're going to watch it. Aren't we, KMM and all you guys? We're going to be here to watch that one. Sputsy Love, we're going to watch that one, because that one is going to be incredible. And we're going to have a camera in there, right? And we're going to be able to see body language, and we're going to be able to see the look in his face. I think the kid is scared to death right now. And he's going to have to go before the judge and a jury. Yep. On a murder trial. Okay, well, let me explain to you about the Carmelo Anthony case, okay? So I can get you all involved, so that when we get to stream it, you can be here to watch it with us. Carmelo Anthony is the one where he went underneath another school's tent, and he had been suspended from school for fighting and everything, and he had a weapon in school, so they put it. So he'd been suspended, and he went to a track meet where these twin boys weren't even participating for their school, but they were there to basically watch over the tent, that kind of thing. And Carmelo Anthony went into their tent, and Austin Metcalf told him, "Hey, dude, you're in the wrong tent. You need to go over there with your own school." And he said, "Touch me one more time and see what happens." And, well, I mean, here's these high school boys. He was going to touch him again. So apparently he kind of poked him in the shoulder. And Carmelo Anthony pulled a knife out of his backpack and stabbed him right in the heart. Didn't stab him in the arm, didn't stab him in the leg, I mean, if you were not out to really do some major damage, right? Stabbed him directly into the heart. The kid died in his twin brother's arms. Now, they're saying in the back channel, he's got a GoFundMe page, and he has made, Carmelo Anthony is what I'm saying. Carmelo Anthony has a GoFundMe page, and he has made $600,000 on his GoFundMe. And the guy that is the spokesleader for the family is a guy named Dominic Alexander. No, I'm not kidding. Look it up. And look up Dominic Alexander. Right? Dominic Alexander is the spokesperson for Carmelo Anthony's family. And this guy's got a rap sheet the size of Texas for doing all kinds of things. High-speed chases, drug trafficking. He's got one where he beat a 2-year-old till they were brain damaged. This is the guy. Now, seeing this funny, this is the guy that is talking for the Anthony family. He's saying he's protecting them. Wow. No, he's trying to get a little bit of that moolah that is in that GoFundMe. Let's be honest here. It's all about money, right? So Carmelo Carmelo is, they had, okay, so here's the law, guys. This is the law. If you are accused of a murder trial, right? If you are a first degree murder, your bond, no matter who you are, what gender you are, what nationality you are, is $1 million. That's just the way it is. But somehow the judge brought Carmelo Anthony's bond down to 240,000. Yeah, check that out. So he's walking free. He's out of jail, and he has the little cuff on his ankle. Plus, the parents have moved into this mansion in a gated community now with their GoFundMe money because they are trying to keep Carmelo safe. And they just bought a brand new Escalade. It's all about money, guys. Come on. It's all about money. This kid should be terrified that this is what's going to happen to him. He's going to jail. You know, and they have a video on that one too that hasn't came out, but apparently the reason they won't show it is because it's just too brutal. But we're going to be here for that, and we're going to watch that one really close. They just don't have a court date yet on it. And KMM, we will watch that the Idaho murders also. We'll just see which one comes first. It is disgusting. Humans are disgusting right now, guys. There is no love lost anywhere on this planet. Everybody is trying to get everybody, and they're trying to get everybody's money, and they're not showing any empathy for anyone. It's unbelievable. You know, love goes a long ways. Show a little love. You know, Diddy called himself Brother Love. I don't know if he showed a whole lot of love there, but it would be nice if we could just show a little love for our fellow human beings. Okay, good. Well, you make sure you keep me abreast to that, right? Because we need to follow that as soon as we get the dates and stuff, so I can. Yeah, Ted, it is so sad. It's so sad. You need to love your brother just like you love yourself, you know, and the ones that are bad, pray for them. You know, I have sat here and butchered Diddy and called him all kinds of names because of what he's done. But you know what? Really, at the end of the day, I say a prayer for that man because I don't think the rest of his life is going to be the greatest. And I think that he believes, I don't even know if he believes in God at this point. I don't know. I think he believes in himself. You know, I think he loves himself. And I think he believes that he's above the law. And he may even go as far as to believe that he is like Kid Cudi said, a man God. No. You take the money away, you take the cars away, you take the mansions away, you take all of the Louis Vuitton purses and backpacks and his jet, and he is nothing more than the next human on the street. He's just like any other man on the street. Right. Exactly, Ted. So that is the reason right there that I say a prayer for Diddy every night. That, you know, God puts his hand on Diddy's heart, because I think that, that man needs, as they say, he needs a whole lot of Jesus. Yeah, I do too. Ted. It's been so awesome having you here with us. If you're not a part of our community, Like and subscribe. We'd love to have you here when we're here. You know, it's okay to agree to disagree. That's what life's all about, right? Some of the things that you had to say, I'll reflect on them and say, you know, maybe there wasn't that much evidence. Maybe they, you know, but you feel the way you do, and I feel the way I do. And we'll just see how it all unfolds. That's what we're here for, right? Let's see how it unfolds. I don't want to see a man go to prison for the rest of his life if he's not guilty of the things that they are accusing him of. You know? I mean, look what they did to Jesus, and he wasn't guilty of anything. So, yeah, I'm with you 100%. But let's see how it unfolds. I'm here for it. And you know what? I hope to see you again. I won't be going live. I won't be going live tomorrow morning. I usually go live about 10 o'clock when the Diddy trial is going. But I'm going to tell you guys, I was up all night long looking up mental illness and looking up freak ops and all of this crazy stuff, right? Our little community is all about loving each other, bringing the love out, coming together, right? You know, everybody doesn't have the same opinion, but that's what we're here for, and showing it in respect and loving the other people. There's not enough love out there right now. There's a whole lot of hate and a whole lot of anger. And, you know, if we can be just a little part of making somebody's day better, then you know what? Then we've done our job. Right? Right? I love that song. I love that song. So, y'all, it's my now. You know, look at me, my son. I can't even talk. My mouth is going crazy. So I'm gonna call it for today, but I will be on tomorrow night around 6:30-ish. Take care, Ted. We love you. We love your opinion. You take care of yourself. If you see somebody that's down and doesn't have a smile, lend them yours. You know, even a good compliment of, hey, you look good today. When people are depressed, they want to hear that kind of stuff. All right. Love you, KMM. Love you, Royal Apple. Love you, Spudsy. And Ted, it's been a pleasure. Hope you become a part of our group. All right, guys. See you tomorrow night at 6:30. Take care.
From shady news to crime so rough, you already know we just can't make this stuff.